Gamers, we are back with some more modern action. I'm, of course, NanMan, bringing you guys all of our modern action here over at NanMan's Nerd Corner. And we've got a fun one for you today. Opps All Bugs versus Grixis Reanimator. And if you are looking at that and going, did I come up with a brand new name for the deck? No, we've seen this deck on the channel before previously. It has been a little while. You know, it's months, maybe, you know, a year now? I don't know. When was the last time we saw this on camera? It's been a while. But so if you're familiar with Opps All Spells, you know, Charbelcher-esque style of deck that you're like, hey, I don't have any lands in my deck. I'm finding alternate ways to win the game. This is one of those. In this case, it is relying on the wonderful creature planeswalker known as Gris. Now, it does run a few more insects in the list to help you win the game with, of course, Edge of Eternities, adding some newer tools for the list. But it is one of those decks that is, you know, if you watched our meta format, it is the lower tier deck. One that's, one of these fun styles of decks that really make our shop so much fun to play at, is because players will go, yeah, I have this very powerful deck. It's great. But this week, I'm going to play something fun. I'm going to go for the memes. Going to go just like play something fun. And even with some fun decks, these players are still taking down games, taking wins, taking names, all that kind of good stuff. So Ignoble Hire to take the start here for Opps All Bugs player. And on the other side are Grixis Reanimator. Now we've seen Esper, Goryo styles of decks. And this is not quite as big creature Atraxa style. It is actually I would say the premier way to play Oculus at this point. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Dimir Oculus is still a deck, but I feel like the benefits of having Faithless Looting is really, really good if you're trying to fill up your graveyard and set yourself up there. But we do see, of course, a Thoughtseize strip away the Goblin Charbelcher out of that hand, and that kind of like gives you a sort of a leaning of, okay, am I fighting against a Charbelcher deck? We've seen like red-green Charbelcher before on the channel, but this time around, it is not a red-green one because it is a Golgari one, Opps All Bugs, and we'll get into it as the game goes. But you see there are 2 Archons hit off that Faithless Looting, but no additional land here. So we're probably like just sitting here, as soon as we get a land, we're set, right? So the Reanimator, not only are we running Oculus, but this is also running things like you see Archon of Cruelty, you see the Persist package, and other ways to kind of get out on the battlefield and do some reanimation shenanigans and get your opponents. This says, might I interest you in a blue source? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But I like the ignoble beats that we're currently going with here. You know, but this is the thing. It's like we had a very aggressive mulligan, but Faithless Looting setting up. I guess you're fine too, right? You're not feeling threatened. You got to look at the hand, strip away the Charbelcher, so you're like, yeah, that's fine. Thought Scour and land there. We're going to play a Watery Grave. Ah, here we go. Gene Pollinator, one of our newest insect friends here. Tap an untap permanent you control to add 1 mana of any color. So, Robot Insects. Edge of Eternities was such a cool set. Big fan of it. Actually not opting for the beats there, which is fine. Potentially needing the mana for something, potentially doing something else. There's the Persist, return target non-legendary creature, and we will be getting a Archon of Cruelty back, but we have a response. Fell the Profane. So Archon's going to come, we'll get the triggers, ETB, target opponent sacks a creature, discards a card, loses 3 life. As the Reanimator player, we're going to draw a card and gain 3 life. I like this. Opps All Bugs. Here's the Serum Powder. One of the reasons why this deck can be cool is for this card. Every so often you'll see it pop up like in a list like this. Sometimes you'll see it in like a weird Eldrazi list, but nothing is actually able to get utilized there. So our Opps All Bug player, she's going to scoop it up and get prepared for the next round there and going into sideboard mode, hoping for the best here. So, of course, we do cut the little bit of sideboard stuff out, but, you know, I think that is the other thing, too, of knowing when to scoop it up. Some people scoop a little early, maybe. Some people scoop a little bit too late. I think it's like the more that you play, you kind of understand key moments of, okay, play for your outs is important, but at some point you've got to go, yeah, no, this is not. You've got another persist there. Yeah, I have no other way to kind of deal with you. Sure, we'll go to game 2. And a pregame of Leyline of the Void. Let's go for a shock in a Gene Polluter as well. And guess what? We can tap our Leyline for mana now. Tap an untapped permanent you control. So that's fun. I like that little synergy within the list here. All right, how will our Grixis Reanimator play? This is one of those things that you know, a big reason why I've been so hesitant to build a Oculus deck of my own is like, I don't know, there's something about like the reanimation strategies are really powerful and really strong. Whether you're going for a Oculus build, whether it's this like a reanimation package with Grixis or Dimir, or even like the Sultai, or not Sultai, sorry, the Simic, you know, Birthing Ritual. You could cheat it out a little bit more with Birthing Ritual, but or even the bigger stuff of like, you know, Atraxa reanimation and stuff like that. All of those are really cool, but they do have a little bit of, you know, fragileness to them in the sense that they can just sort of crack under too much graveyard hate pressure. And you kind of have to really play the decks a lot to understand how to navigate through those situations and find a way to still win. Because you don't want a deck that's just like, oh, you played one card and I die, right? I can't do nothing about it. So being able to have sideboard cards that you go, okay, I know that you're going to bring in certain hate, so I need ways to kind of deal with it, right? Some players will extra board in certain removal cards that they know can answer it. And, ooh, let's do a recross the paths here. Now, we've seen this. We've talked about in the Gruul style of Charbelcher, where you're going to like stack your deck. But that's basically what's going to happen here, is with Recross the Pass, we're going to set ourselves up and stack our deck with all the cards that we want, because we're going to reveal cards, and we're going to say, there are no lands here. So we get to essentially stack our deck, and then Clash will reveal the top card. So it says, because I'm going to do this, and we're going to reveal that there are no lands, you do get to look through my deck now. And this way you get to understand. And this is where it kind of looks at it and it's like, okay, what the heck is this big bug that you have? This 7-cost bug? What the heck? Like, there's some really weird cards in the list that you're just like, yeah, look, he's looking at the bug. What the heck is that name of that bug? Hold on, I gotta look this up now, because I can't even remember the name of this. Opps All Bugs. It is the Huskbuster Swarm. Huskbuster Swarm. 8 mana, it costs 7 colorless and a black for 6/6, but this spell does cost 1 less to cast for each creature card you own in exile and in your graveyard. It's a Menace Death Toucher 6/6. So it says, all right, our Opps All Bug player says, give me a minute. I'm going to just grab a bunch of bugs, and you're going to start to see the setup here, right? All of these bugs are going, and part of the reason for that is Gris +1 ability. Create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token, then mill a card. If it's an insect, repeat this process. Put a loyalty counter on Gris, right? All of that. Every time that you repeat it, you're going to repeat and increase the loyalty. So you basically set Gris up in like one turn to be super high loyalty. The next turn, you just kill your opponent. Because you're like, hey, let's neg 5. Each opponent loses life equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. And you've already milled so many insects. Whether it's these Huskbust Swarms, the Gene Pollinators, Haywire Mites, all right, some Brain Maggots, like whatever version you're running for it. But yeah, we get to see kind of basically good chunk of the list. Of course, any of the decks that we're seeing here on stream, you can be able to check out. We do have all of those over on our Moxfield link down below in the little description. You can see all of the links, of course, to all of our other social media stuff, links to, you know, our affiliate stuff that we've got there for you if you guys are interested in looking at some cool things like that. But we'll get into all that discussion very soon here as we kind of are setting up and still going through, counting out, and you see this sort of like set, okay, where's the stopper? What do I want as my stopper? All right, and we're gonna see. But this is gonna be one of those like definitely learning moments and curves for a lot of players to kind of, if they've never seen this deck. And a lot of times with some of the pieces and tools that you see from like some of these weird decks are like, I've never seen this, or these cards interacting in this specific way. It becomes this whole little like nuance game of like, oh, okay, I figured out what you're doing now. Now I know how to attack it and how to interact with this for the next game, which could be very beneficial. You know, sideboard stuff. You might notice something else that you go, oh yeah, I need these cards now in the sideboard side of things. All right, persist was at the top, but we're going to shuffle that away. We don't need that. I mean, Leyline of the Void putting in a lot of work here. You can see the Oculus. You can see the persist. Those don't really do anything here. A push, yeah, let's get that. If there's not a land available, we can kind of help keep the grist in check for a while because we know the deck is stacked up in a very specific way that there's not going to be a land anytime soon, right? Or unless there is a land on top. I don't remember how the deck got stacked. Ooh, a frog's really nice. And it looks like we did stack a land on top, just in case. Okay. Do we want to lose any life here? No. Land pass. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in hand. Probably not going to run out all of them. We could save the consign. And do a consign to memory on the uptick of Grist. And like when it has the extra mill ability to repeat this, you just sort of like almost stifle that counter target triggered ability, right? Or I think that can work, unless I'm misunderstanding it, right? Because couldn't it be like, okay, reveal it, hey, here's a bug, trigger, it will do it again, and you kind of go, no, we're not going to do that. But we do see a big pump, big beats coming down on the frog. No way to give it flying, but still very powerful there. Grist comes out. There is the dump. Hey, it's a bug. It's a bug. It's a bug. It's also a bug. Here's some more bugs. Have you seen this bug? There's another one. And there's the stopper. So there's a lot of bugs. 11 bugs. And that's all that additional loyalty. And now there's all these blockers that are in the way that stop the frog from being able to attack. Because the frog can't fly. So yeah, I'm wondering, can you consign that trigger? I think you can. Oh, Spell Pierce is like, oh, you can't actually Spell Pierce Grist because it's a creature when it's not on the stack. But I do wonder if you can consign that trigger. But now we got to see the deck in action a little bit of doing the thing. We're interrupting our gameplay to let you know about our new affiliate with NerdGear. Nerdgear.gg/NanMan will take you directly to the website, and as you can see, they've got a bunch of awesome gaming accessories from playmats, life counters with the life tracks, playmat holders, and more. So make sure you do some browsing on the site, find some goodies, and then use the code NGNanMan for 5% off your entire order. But let's get back to our gameplay. All right, of course, the links are in the description if you are interested in doing that, especially as we're getting closer and closer to the holidays. You might want to have, take a look at it. Maybe there's something in there that you're interested in, whether it's a super cool playmat, the life tracks. There's also like a commander bundle that has a bunch of cool goodies with it. I'm, a big fan of the life tracks. There's, of course, sleeves, and then there is the little hanging rack for all of your playmats, especially if you've been a tournament grinder like me that has collected a lot of playmats over the year. It is definitely worth considering and picking up to have those, easily accessible. But let's see with game number 3 here. We got a mulligan for our Grixis Reanimator player. Opps All Bugs looks like she's keeping. But we will see. We will see going into it. Now, we do, of course, got a lot of other games in queue, in the works. I did want to highlight this one in particular this week because, it's a different deck. A bit of a weird deck that we haven't seen in a while. But we still have, some brood scale stuff. We still got some twin. We've got some blink stuff. We've got some scape shift stuff. We've got some control. We've got some amulet. We've got, what else we got? Some Espers Gorios. Yeah, we got a bunch of different goodies. Oh, we got some Zoo coming up. Or Gruul Prowess. Yeah, all kinds of goodies. Of course, if there is a specific deck that you'd like to see more of on camera and on stream, let us know. Leave a comment, and we will do our best to try to get some more of that type of game on the channel for you. But turn 1, Faithless Looting, Fetch Shock. Let's see what we can kind of dump in the graveyard. No ley line to kind of stifle us down this time around, so we're going to see what we can kind of craft off at least going first. And plus, with our opponent more or less having a bunch of tap lands, it does set us up nicely. Ooh, a Thoughtseize. Nice. I mean, seeing the reanimation off of the little Emperor of Bones is nice. I mean, okay, that was a nice top deck. Here's an Unearth into our Oculus already. And we'll manifest Dread and put this mystery card as a 2/2 creature on the battlefield. Like, once Oculus hits, it takes over the game so fast. Like, you're going to need a way to kind of deal with it, and it's very hard when you're kind of like essentially a turn behind things. But Ignoble, Hierarch's coming out here. What else we got? A Thoughtseize, getting rid of the Fatal Push to help make sure that we're still able to maintain. We've got a Grist coming up that we could kill off the Oculus, at least attempt to. Big hits coming, though. It's going to be real tough. Oh, no, we can't play a land, so all of our lands hurt us. Or enter tapped. All right, what do we got here to discard? I mean, Nihil Spellbomb's nice, because if our opponent tries to go for the Opps All Bugs stuff of going, hey, I'm going to ult and equal to the number of bugs in the graveyard or creatures in the graveyard, and you go, well, in response to you activating this, I'll Nihil and get rid of all of it. Ew, Fulminator Mage is a sweet choice, too. All right, Nihil Spellbomb hitting the battlefield here. And how we're going to manifest another Dread. So there'll be 2 4/4s there. Or sorry, 2 2/2s for 4 damage total there. All right. He says, I got to kill someone this turn. Yeah, bolt the land in. That's it, right? Take myself out. I used to do that all the time with the, like, fetch shock, kill myself and stuff like that in the game. But, yeah, we do see Frog there. Ooh, that would have been a great one. So, you do, of course, can flip those Manifest Dread cards there. But that was a good one to kind of wrap it up. We got to see a little bit of the shenanigans, but just Oculus is a really good card. Born Oculus really taking over there at the end and just sort of running away with things. And that's why, you know, you'll see Demir versions run it. You'll see this Grixis version run it. And it's just like, if it lands and sticks around, it does work. We get to see a little bit of the sideboard stuff between the players. Yep, Consign, Nihil Spell Bombs. I like the Fulminator Mage. I think that's a cool way to do it, especially because you can reanimate them with Unearth. So you're like, play it, blow up your land, unearth it, blow up another land, and just make you have a bad time there. But, you know, very cool. A little bit of fast pace this week. We got a couple of 20-minute long games for you to be able to enjoy. So, of course, if you like the content, make sure you're subscribing, following along. We're getting closer and closer to our 2025 goal of hitting 100,000 views. We're at 91,000 so far. So, hoping to get there by the end of the year. But that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for tuning and watching, and I'll see you all next game.